A recent video, purportedly showing a female executive enforcing layoffs, has gone viral.
I'm unlawfully terminating you right now. I'm telling you, I'm doing it unlawfully.
On what grounds are you unlawfully terminating me?
Is it your business whether I break the law or not?
So, you admit it's illegal, then let's follow the law.
Yes, I'm breaking the law. Can't you understand plain language? Are you unable to comprehend what I'm saying?
I'll listen to what the Labor Bureau says.
Can't you understand plain language? You can leave now. Go on. Leave now, pack your things, and go right now.
I'll wait for the labor arbitration's decision.
I'm revoking all your access now. You're not allowed to enter my company anymore. You can wait. We'll see how the lawsuit goes. I'm telling you, with labor arbitration's first and second hearings, I've got people. I can wait. Just you wait and see. You won't be able to find a job for 2.5 years. Don't even think about getting another job. I'll still have food next month. You probably won't. You better think clearly about going against me.
You have no sense of law.
That's right, I don't. I'm telling you. I'm breaking the law. So what?
What kind of quality is this for a company HR?
This is the quality. So what? Go ahead. Upload this and see. I'm calling 110 right now.
It's you who's breaking the law. You've even admitted it.
Fine, I'm calling 110 right now to have you removed.
You're the one who's breaking the law first.
I've said so, haven't I? I'm not stopping you. Go ahead and sue me. Am I preventing you?
I'll wait for what the Labor Bureau has to say.
In the video, the female executive's unlawful dismissal of employees and her arrogant demeanor have greatly unsettled netizens. Comments under related videos on Chinese online platforms express condemnation, with remarks such as, "She acts as if she owns the country. What a terrible company with such low-quality executives, and this person is a nightmare for employees." Rumors were that this female executive is from the Beijing Shougang Group. On the evening of January 7th, Shougang Group issued a statement on its official website debunking the rumor, clarifying that the woman in the video is neither an employee nor an executive, and that the incident is unrelated to the company. As it turns out, the executive is from Beijing Neox Tech. In the early hours of January 8th, Beijing Neox Tech issued a statement regarding the incident, announcing that the executive involved has been suspended and will be dealt with seriously. Netizens are skeptical of these statements, questioning whether the company and executive should be investigated further for their attitude and sense of impunity. Douyin blogger lawyer Lao Tsao analyzed the incident in a video posted on January 7th. He pointed out that the female executive's remarks merely expose a reality, which is the disdain some companies have for labor laws. Firstly, he notes that the executive is not lacking in legal awareness. In fact, she is acutely aware of the consequences and costs of illegally terminating labor contracts. For the company, the cost is simply fulfilling its legal obligations by compensating the employee. She understands the law but chooses to violate it. Secondly, she is also well aware of the cost of employees' rights protection, which can be a lengthy and financially burdensome process for ordinary people. Even if they win, they only receive what they were already entitled to. Such tactics are not only a challenge to the law, but also a contempt for the rights of ordinary employees. Thirdly, her threats to employees, like ensuring they can't find a job for the next 2.5 years, which might include giving out malicious references and unfavorable information during background checks, are not only harmful to individuals, but also violate social fairness and justice. This is why her words resonated so painfully with the common workforce. Her actions, while seemingly unfair to one employee, actually pose a latent threat to all ordinary workers. Thus, it's understandable why ordinary workers have pushed this issue into the spotlight. Lawyer Lao Tsao asserts that everyone has the right to voice their opposition to injustice, to draw social attention and reflection, and to remind people that the legal system needs to provide stronger protection for workers' rights. He suggests increasing the cost of legal violations on one hand, and simplifying the rights protection process on the other, to ensure everyone can pursue justice at a lower cost. Only then, he believes, can a more fair and orderly labor market environment be established. In response to lawyer Lao Tsao's comments, some netizens remarked, "It's not just some companies. 98% of businesses in China ignore labor laws, and, if you dare to seek labor arbitration, the next company simply won't hire you because most companies in China do not abide by labor laws." Others commented, "The female executive is not disrespecting labor laws, she's just stating the harsh truth." In a similar vein, a company in Xi'an City, Shanxi, recently adopted an unexpected tactic to avoid employee compensation during layoffs. On January 1st, a topic titled, "For Layoffs, Company Moves from CBD to Qinling Mountains," sparked attention and heated discussion in mainland China. According to online reports, a Xi'an advertising company suddenly informed its employees of relocating the office from Xi'an CBD to a village at the foot of the Qinling Mountains in Chang'an District. Employees without cars had to take a 3-hour bus ride and walk an additional 3 kilometers, approximately 30 minutes through mountainous village roads, to reach the office. The one-way commute took nearly 2 hours, and a taxi ride from the nearest subway station cost around 50 to 60 yuan, with no commuting subsidies from the company. Consequently, due to the long commute and inconvenient local living conditions, over 10 employees voluntarily resigned. However, just 4 days later, the employer moved the company back to the urban area and started recruiting online. Since the company would have to provide severance payment for firing employees, it purposely moved to a hostile work environment to induce voluntary resignations. After resigning, employees discovered that their social insurance was only purchased after a year of work, and that some performance bonuses, overtime pay, and paid annual leave were not accounted for. Thus, several colleagues filed for labor arbitration. However, when the arbitration committee contacted the company, the person in charge played the victim, even claiming he needed a lawyer for his rights, because the former employee's revelations had caused significant negative impacts and losses to their current clients and business operations. The company even considered suing the former employees for absenteeism, as their salaries were prepaid until the end of October and they did not work for the remaining days. In the comments section of a topic related to company layoffs, netizens have been actively sharing their opinions. Some mockingly say, "This plan is ingenious," and "Look, the imagination of domestic entrepreneurs surpasses foreign enterprises." Others comment, "This is like being taken for a walk like a dog, and you can't even bite back." According to Sohu.com, on December 31, 2023, the head of a company involved in a controversial move stated that due to operational difficulties, relocating to the mountains was merely a temporary measure. The company did not anticipate the ensuing employee resignations. However, former employees expressed their frustration, stating that they were initially informed that the move to the mountains would be for an extended period. They were angered to learn just a few days after their resignation that the company had moved back to the urban area. As the incident continues to gain traction, a Douyin blogger humorously remarked, "You keep the company in your heart, but the company puts you in the mountains. Give them a chance to lay off, and they'll move the company to the Qinling Mountains. Give them another chance to hire, and they'll move it back to the city. There's nothing an employer can't do. If there are no mountains nearby, they might as well move the mountain over." As the end of the year approaches, compounded by economic downturn pressures, such covert layoffs are increasingly common. On January 5th, a netizen posted a video saying that it is no big deal relocating to the mountains in order to force resignations. The company he worked for, to push employees to quit, transferred employees from Xi'an to the far northeast. The video appears to show employees negotiating with company representatives.
Everything's been sorted on the company's end. No issues there. If you guys have any problems, feel free to reach out to the relevant authorities, okay? As far as the company is concerned, we've dealt with everything.
Before noon, give us back our original work conditions before noon.
No, can't do that. Like we said yesterday, your positions aren't with the Xi'an company anymore.
You guys can do whatever you need to, including going for arbitration. That's your right, and I'm not in a position to stop you. But think about it. If you keep dragging this out, even for a month or two, what's your future going to look like? You've still got a life to live, right? Consider that.
Comments on this video include stories about similar situations in their companies. One said, "When people were being laid off at our company, people were told it was for a month-long training session out of town. None of those who went for training returned. It was only later we found out it was a disguised layoff." Another commented, "Being asked to work in the northeast while your home is in Xi'an. That's even harsher than moving to the Qinling Mountains." 2 articles published by Chinese media, "How Many Ways Can Employees Be Forced to Leave?" and "Innovations in Disguised Layoffs. Companies Always Find a Way to Make You Voluntarily Resign," recount various layoff tactics used by Chinese companies. These strategies reveal how these businesses have mastered the art of cost-effective layoffs. Wu Xiaohui, a driver at an insurance company in Changchun, had worked there for 20 years. When he joined, he wasn't qualified to sign a labor contract with the company, but was promised a contract if he worked hard. After 14 years, he thought he would finally get this opportunity. Trusting his superiors, he signed many documents without much scrutiny. only to later realize they were not for a contract with his company, but for transfer to another labor agency. 6 years later, when he was checking his Social Security payments, he discovered he had long been laid off by the original company, and nothing was paid to him. Wu and others, who realized too late that they had been laid off, eventually sued the company, beginning a lengthy battle for their rights. In Changchun, a young employee named Li, who had only been working for 2 years, was pressured by his superiors to invest a minimum of 20,000 yuan to become a shareholder in a new company. If he didn't comply, he would lose his position in the new company. Li saw this as a veiled attempt to force his resignation. Another employee, Yao, a salesman at a pharmaceutical company in Changchun, shared his experience of being laid off. Not being part of the new leadership's inner circle, he was assigned to a remote, undeveloped area with the same performance milestones as established markets, ultimately leading to his dismissal for poor performance. Mr. Jiang, who worked at an insurance company in Beijing, shared that his company negotiated to terminate his contract at the end of the year, citing business direction adjustments. They offered severance pay based on the N+1 standard, which is the number of years of service plus 1 extra month. But this did not include the year-end bonus he was supposed to receive. He was told that the bonus would be issued in March of the following year, meaning he would not receive it if he left at year's end. Furthermore, a company owner demanded 2 designers create 100 small New Year pictures and 50 Good Morning pictures within a single day, stating that their decision to stay or leave was up to them. This unrealistic demand led to the resignation of the designers involved. Unreasonable job transfers, pay cuts, increased assessment difficulty, reduced benefits, unpaid extended leave, and last-place elimination are among the various tactics companies use for covert layoffs, often forcing employees to reluctantly accept their fate. After reviewing the layoffs in Chinese companies, let's take a look at how foreign companies in China handle layoffs and offer compensation. In May 2023, a notice of termination of labor contract from Nidec Precision Motor Technology, a Japanese company, garnered widespread attention in China. The company's severance package included economic compensation of 2N+1, so that's 2 months of wages for each year worked, plus 1 extra month, a special consolation payment of N times 1.3, re-employment support funds of 2N, a commemorative bonus of 2N, and an advance payment of 1N for the year-end bonus. An employee who had worked for 5 years received a total compensation equivalent to 22.5 months of salary. Many Chinese netizens, impressed by such generous compensation, lauded this as the act of an ethical enterprise. On October 30, 2023, Sohu.com published an article titled, Dignified, Foreign Company Trend Micro, Compensation up to N+8, highlighting the layoffs at Nanjing Trend Micro, a US-based global leader in cybersecurity. The company, known for products like antivirus software, firewalls, and cloud security, laid off about 70 employees, approximately 14% of its total workforce. Online sources revealed that the severance package ranged from N+4 to N+8, depending on the employee's tenure, with those serving over 10 years receiving N+7 compensation. This level of compensation is considered high among foreign enterprises in China. The report states that in comparison, some domestic companies only offer severance compensation of N+1 or N, often leading to legal disputes with employees, which seems less dignified. Consequently, many Chinese have expressed a degree of approval and respect for Trend Micro's approach to layoffs, describing it as dignified, ethical, and fair to long-serving employees. On December 29, 2023, a netizen posted that layoffs typically bring a heavy blow to employees. But layoffs at foreign enterprises are an exception, with employees expecting a generous severance package such as Nanjing Trend Micro. However, he was surprised to discover that British semiconductor company ARM Holdings exceeded Trend Micro's severance when laying off over 70 software engineers in China. The reported severance package was N+9, which was a significant compensation for the employees. Many reacted with comments like, "Foreign companies really open our eyes," and "the severance pay from foreign companies is really substantial." Some expressed disbelief, jokingly asking, "Is this a layoff or a bereavement package?" Other comments included, "Foreign companies offer hefty compensation, while local companies cut salaries and indirectly force you to leave without compensation. And this is what an ethical company looks like. Chinese companies should take note." On August 18, 2020, NetEase published an article titled, Samsung closes its last computer factory in China. The compensation plan spells conscience. The article reviewed the conscientious compensation plans offered by various foreign companies during layoffs. For instance, when South Korea's Samsung Electronics closed its Suzhou factory in August 2020, the highest compensation offered was above N+3, earning it the title of a conscientious enterprise. In 2019, when the US-based Oracle software company closed its R&D center in China and laid off employees, it offered N+6 as compensation. Shockingly, when the US company Cisco Systems, which entered the Chinese market in 1994, announced layoffs in its Shanghai department in 2020, the compensation was N+7, with HR groups stating that the average compensation was over 1 million yuan per employee. Furthermore, many foreign companies provide additional compensation during layoffs. For example, when Motorola China conducted layoffs in 2012, it offered an additional bonus and allowed employees to exercise stock options and warrants issued in 2011 and 2012. In 2015, Marvel set a quick sign bonus of 10,000 yuan in cash during its layoffs. In 2017, when Nikon's factory in China ceased operations, additional compensation was offered to pregnant and nursing women and persons with disabilities. Netizens exclaimed that the severance packages of foreign companies are comparable to housing demolition compensation. No comparison, no harm. Why is there such a big gap between Chinese local companies and foreign enterprises in terms of layoffs? In response, some analysts believe that the economic downturn in China and operational challenges naturally lead to layoffs. The Chinese government's staunch enforcement of lockdown policies, indifferent to the plight of the common people, has resulted in widespread unemployment, with figures often underreported. The suppression of discussions regarding China's economy and the silencing of experts and scholars are seen as the government's malevolent actions, leaving the citizens to bear the brunt. The government's tactics of silencing and oppression stem from its reluctance to allow private enterprises to grow too large, fearing they might become a threat. The overall business environment in China is not conducive, leading to a society where the underprivileged are oppressed. Companies, unable to hold the government accountable, often pass the losses on to their employees, minimizing compensation to save costs. The difficulties faced by citizens in asserting their rights under Chinese law are well known. The societal structure is such that those in absolute positions of power oppress the weaker sections. This is evident from the arrogant attitude of the female executive who dismissed employees at the start of the video. In the end, neither her nor the company were brought to account by any labor regulatory bodies due to their connections. Foreign companies, on the other hand, operate with integrity and are governed by strict legal frameworks, ensuring that their actions comply with legal requirements.